Welcome to the Mass Effect 3 ending full analysis. This will be quite a long video in which I plan to analyze the entire ending of Mass Effect 3. I'll try to find any inconsistencies, any questions that come to mind. Firstly, I'll be honest and say that I was extremely disappointed by the Mass Effect 3 ending, and thought it was a really underwhelming and not satisfying at all. I also won't just cover the ME3 ending, but how it all ties together with the whole story of the trilogy. I know this game is 13 years old, but better late than never. I'm a massive Mass Effect fan. I know there are already countless videos complaining about the ending, but every time I play the Mass Effect series, I always get reminded of the missed potential, and feel like sharing a lot of my thoughts. This is almost like a therapy session for me, honestly. So here is my analysis of the ending. Chapter 1. The Catalyst. So we're first introduced to the Catalyst, or Godchild, as some people call him, when this platform is lifted up.
Commander!
Wake up!
Who are you?
I am the Catalyst.
So I have quite a few questions already. The first question I have is, why does he look like the kid that died on Earth? This is never explained to us, and Shepard doesn't even bother to ask. Even though in the rest of the series, all he does is ask questions. Here's a clip from the start of Mass Effect 1, where we can see the enormous amount of dialogue for something that isn't really that important to the series.
You think the Alliance brass is holding out on us? What do you know about the stealth systems? For what?
Damned if I know, Commander.
Do you have a problem with the captain? You don't trust Nihilus. What can you tell me about Nihilus? What do you know about the Spectres? Why don't we have any of our own people in there? How do you control agents with unlimited power? You're from Eden Prime, aren't you, Jenkins? What's it like?
You can ask about the Spectres, what they think about the next mission, why Spectres are above the law, etc. So this is a very big inconsistency when in the rest of the series, all Shepard does is ask questions. So I have to theorize about why he looks the same way. What I guess is that the Reapers read his mind and chose something familiar to him. What's even stranger is that Shepard doesn't even get any reminders about what happened to the boy on Earth when seeing him. Shepard has been having dreams the whole game where he saw this child running away and dying over and over, even burning, being set on fire. It was a reminder and symbolizes the people he couldn't save on Earth. So he sees an AI with this child's form and doesn't even comment on it. Very strange. The next really big question I have is, why is the Catalyst so neutral? Let's see how Sovereign talks to us when we meet him.
Rudimentary creatures of blood and flesh, you touch my mind, fumbling in ignorance, incapable of understanding. There is a realm of existence so far beyond your own, you cannot even imagine it. I am beyond your comprehension. I am sovereign. Organic life is nothing but a genetic mutation. An accident. Your lives are measured in years and decades. You wither and die. We are eternal, the pinnacle of evolution and existence. Before us, you are nothing. Your extinction is inevitable. We are the end of everything.
So Sovereign believes he's like a god, and we are nothing compared to him. And he wants to destroy us. The Catalyst, however, is extremely neutral and not aggressive at all. Why is there this massive inconsistency? Surely if the AI that created the Reapers is neutral and polite, then the Reapers should be the same. Sovereign and Harbinger in Mass Effect 1 and 2 both say all they want to do is destroy us. the child is doing the opposite, and is actually helping us now.
Why are you telling me this? Why help me?
The next big question is, where even is the catalyst? So right now, I think we're basically on the underside of the Citadel Tower. So the central computer, or I don't know, the mainframe where the catalyst is underneath the Citadel Tower? Where exactly? And is he using some kind of projector to make himself visible? Where has he been hiding all this time, and how has no one noticed? Maybe you think I'm being a bit pedantic with all these questions, but this is Mass Effect. You ask hundreds of questions and have codex entries for everything in the game, except the ending. But now this leads me to the biggest question I have about the catalyst. So I must warn you, Mass Effect 1 probably has the best story of the entire series. It's intriguing, it makes sense, it has the biggest reveals, and is very well written. You may want to skip this part if you don't want Mass Effect 1's story to be ruined for you. So the question is, what's the point in Mass Effect 1? And I say that because in Mass Effect 1, we are trying to stop Saren from finding the conduit. What is the conduit? It's a mass relay that links directly to the Citadel. So in Mass Effect 1, we follow Saren to the Thorion on Feros to get the cipher so we can understand the Prothean language and better understand the beacon message. We go to Novaria to confront Matriarch Benezia, and she gives us information about the new relay. Then we needed to know that we had to go to Ilos. We get this from Liara. Saren needed all this information so he could find the conduit, use it to get to the Citadel, lock it so that Sovereign could get inside, turn on the Citadel relay, and the Reapers could return. But why the hell does any of this need to happen when the catalyst is on the Citadel the whole time? Or maybe you think that he wasn't on the Citadel in Mass Effect 1. This is completely debunked when he says, "It is my home." So he lives on the Citadel.
The Citadel. It's my home.
Surely if he was on the Citadel the whole time, Mass Effect 1 is pointless. He could just override the controls himself, turn on the mass relay, and the Reapers could return. The reason why this problem exists in Mass Effect 1, and that the Reapers didn't return, was because the Prothean scientists woke from stasis on Ilos, used the relay to go to the Citadel, and were able to disable the Keepers from activating the Citadel relay.
The Keepers are controlled by the Citadel. Before each invasion, a signal is sent through the station compelling the Keepers to activate the Citadel relay. After decades of feverish study, the scientists discovered a way to alter this signal. Using the conduit, they gained access to the Citadel and made the modifications. This time, when Sovereign sent the signal to the Citadel, the Keepers ignored it. The Reapers are trapped in dark space.
It is a bit strange to me that the Reapers would depend entirely on the Keepers to activate the Citadel relay. Surely you would have some kind of contingency plan just in case the species decided to sabotage the Keepers or kill them. Also, this seems very unlikely if the catalyst is on the Citadel the whole time. The game doesn't explain this at all, and basically forgets that Mass Effect 1 even existed. Another problem this brings up in Mass Effect 1, there is a giant battle to take the Citadel. Geth and Sovereign are shooting massive amounts of projectiles into the Citadel. Surely the catalyst is living on the Citadel, then he'll be getting damaged by all these shots, no? Maybe some might ask, you should be analysing the ME3 ending. Why are you talking about Mass Effect 1? It's a trilogy. The story should logically follow from the first game to the last. Chapter 2. The Crucible. I have too many questions about this that will never be answered. Number 1. How does it work? There is no codex entry at all about this.
The Mars archives describe a superweapon that the Alliance has named the Crucible, which exploits the technology of Mass Effect relays. Beyond the basic principles, however, researchers know little about how the weapon actually works.
This is also made worse by the fact that the catalyst says,
What do you know about the Crucible?
The device you refer to as the Crucible is little more than a power source.
So you add a power source to the Citadel and it's able to 1. transfer a human's consciousness into an AI computer to control the Reapers. 2. Merge all synthetic and organic life into a new DNA. 3. Destroy all synthetics. So it's not the Crucible that does any of this, it's the Citadel, because the Crucible is just a power source. Where is all this functionality hidden? I mean, the Citadel just looks like a big space station. Where are all the electronics for this? Where's all the DNA stored? Another question that will basically never get answered is, where did the Crucible come from? The Catalyst says this.
Who designed it?
You would not know them, and there is not enough time to explain.
What do you mean you don't have time to explain? Turn the Reapers off and let's talk. What is this, destiny?
I don't even have time to explain why I don't have time to explain.
We first noted the concept for this device several cycles ago. With each passing cycle, the design has no doubt evolved.
So it was created by some past civilization that we obviously don't know. What doesn't really make too much sense is the fact that, as far as we know, every civilization were ambushed by the Reapers, and the Citadel was taken right at the start of the war. This meant the mass relays were turned off and everyone was isolated in their own system.
The Reapers can wipe out the Council and the entire Citadel fleet in a single surprise attack.
That was our fate. Our leaders were dead before we even realized we were under attack. The Reapers seized control of the Citadel, and through it, the mass relays. Communication and transportation across our empire were crippled.
So imagine you're fighting a war against the Reapers, and in desperation you start building a weapon. But what does this weapon need? It requires the Citadel. But you don't have access to the Citadel because the Reapers took it at the start of the war. And also, you don't have any mass relays in order to get to the Citadel. So why would you put all of your resources into a project that's whole purpose requires the Citadel to work, but you can't get to the Citadel? This is just a massive paradox. We can't beat the Reapers. We create a device to destroy the Reapers. We can't use the device because we need the Citadel. We can't get to the Citadel because the Reapers will destroy us. Next question. Why does the Crucible have 3 choices? Do you think it's a bit of a waste of resources to design a device that has 3 giant functions? If you're desperate for survival, you would surely focus on one way to kill the Reapers or stop them. The fact that synthesis is even an option doesn't make sense either. I'm guessing none of the other species even met the Catalyst.
The fact that you are standing here, the first organic ever, proves it.
How did they know that the Catalyst was trying to solve the problem between inevitable wars between synthetics and organics? Imagine you're designing the Crucible for the first time, right? You're completely desperate, it's your last chance for survival, and your last hope of killing the Reapers. And you finish it, and you're like, it's done! We can kill the Reapers now, it can destroy them. And then another scientist randomly says, no, it's not done. We need to add the functionality to merge synthetic and organic life. That's the real priority. Of course, you'd look at this scientist and think he's completely insane. But apparently every species that have added to the Crucible have thought this, without ever meeting the Catalyst and having that problem explained to them. For example, in Mass Effect 1 you can ask Vigil and Ilos why they are doing this. And he will say this.
What do the Reapers get out of this? Why do they keep repeating this pattern of genocide over and over?
The Reapers are alien, unknowable. Perhaps they need slaves or resources. More likely they are driven by motives and goals organic beings cannot hope to comprehend.
So the Protheans had no idea why the Reapers were doing this either, but still thought to add this functionality to the Crucible. Another massive problem is that the DNA for every species would be different for each cycle. How can you design a device that can manipulate the DNA of any race safely that you haven't even met yet? Deus Ex Machina. A Deus Ex Machina is a Latin term meaning God from the machine. It refers to a situation where there is a big, unstoppable problem in a story, and it is solved by a random, unexpected, and unlikely occurrence. This is considered bad writing in most situations. Sometimes it can be used as a joke for comedic effect. Here's an example. Imagine in the third Lord of the Rings film, the Allied armies are surrounded by orcs and fighting for their lives and surrounded just outside Mordor. Instead of what actually happens in the film or books with the ring, a large blonde angel riding a bright white chariot pulled by unicorns appears from the sky. She jumps down and rides all around, killing every orc in sight and saves everyone. This is bad because we don't know who this person is, where they came from, why are they here, and it completely removes the reality of this situation. If angels can just jump out of the sky and save everyone, is there really any danger? And why didn't the angels save everyone before? The Crucible is the best example of a Deus Ex Machina I've ever seen. We don't know how to beat the Reapers. We found blueprints for a weapon that can kill them. How does it work? We don't know. Where did it come from? We don't know. How do we use it? We don't know. Why are we only finding it now? We don't know. The Crucible is basically just an I win button, without any actual explanation. Reapers were made so powerful that only a magical, unexplained device could kill them in the end. Chapter 3. The Reaper Strategy. This part doesn't necessarily deal with just the ending, but it's related. The main question is, why didn't the Reapers take the Citadel right at the start of the invasion? In every other cycle that we know of, the Reapers were a complete surprise to everyone. They suddenly appeared at the Citadel and killed all the leaders before anyone knew what was happening. They then used the Citadel to turn off the mass relays. The Citadel and mass relays were a massive trap. If you use them, you don't develop your own technology and become dependent on theirs.
Why would you construct the mass relays, then leave them for someone else to find?
Your civilization is based on the technology of the mass relays. Our technology. By using it, your society develops along the paths we desire.
Then when the mass relays are turned off, you can't organize and you are trapped in your own system. This is the main strategy of the Reapers. They try to avoid a fair fight as much as possible. So we know the main strategy of the Reapers. They take the Citadel and turn off the mass relays. So what do the Reapers do in Mass Effect 3? Well, they go to Karshon, Earth, Paladin, Tachanka, Thessia, Sanctuary, etc. All the places under the sun before they even consider going to attack the Citadel. What the hell were they doing? Could the Citadel Defense Force really repel the Reapers? The Reapers took the Citadel with ease at the end of the game, so much so that we didn't even get to see it. So why didn't the Reapers take the Citadel right at the start of the invasion and turn off the mass relays? It's like they wanted to give us a chance. The only explanation I have for this is the writers couldn't think of a good way to stop the Reapers from taking the Citadel, and there would be no chance to stop them if they attacked and took it. Also, why didn't we get to see the attack on the Citadel? Isn't this quite an important event? There are people I care about in the Citadel. Din Korlak, the Alcor ambassador, the Council, except maybe the Turian Councillor, Bailey, Technoturian, Shaira, and about 13 million other people are on the Citadel. The Reapers take it without us ever knowing about it, and we have no idea if everyone is okay or not. Come on, I care about these people. What happened to them? And related to that last question, why did the Reapers leave the mass relays on when they took the Citadel? So the Reapers take the Citadel and decide to let us attack them all on Earth. Did they want to give us a chance? They could have taken the Citadel to Earth and turned off the mass relays. How could we attack Earth in a coordinated way without mass relays? We couldn't. Maybe you could say it was a trap. They wanted to lure us to Earth and kill us all at once. However, this doesn't make sense and goes completely against their strategy. The Reapers wait 50,000 years, and it takes decades to completely destroy an entire species. Just listen to Vigil.
But the genocide of an entire species is a long, slow process. Years passed, decades, centuries. The Reapers persisted, and my energy reserves were dwindling.
The Reapers are patient and methodical. Except in our cycle, where they decide to let us have a massive battle where they could theoretically lose a lot of ships, this doesn't fit their strategy at all. Why did the Reapers bring the Citadel to Earth? Sometimes the plot is dictated by certain circumstances and not necessarily by internal consistency. As humans are playing the game, it makes sense to focus the game around taking back Earth. As this is the focus of the game, in a way the Citadel had to come to Earth. The game just didn't do a good job of explaining this. What makes Earth so special? There are hundreds of other planets, and the Citadel probably hadn't been moved before. I don't know why they would tactically move the Citadel to Earth. Maybe it was easy to defend there, or maybe they had some plan with humans there. None of it is explained. In terms of writing a story, it makes sense. How can you take back Earth if you can't beat the Reapers without the Citadel? Why were the Reapers transporting human bodies into the Citadel? Maybe this was connected to ME2 with the human Reaper. This is one massive flaw of Mass Effect 2. This was never explained to us. Why humans? Aren't Asari simply better genetically? If anyone, Protheans would have been the best choice for a Reaper. If it somehow depends on the race's capabilities. Humans are completely unremarkable in comparison. Again, it simply just made sense in Mass Effect 2 to design the story around this. You have to work with Cerberus. Why would Cerberus care about the Collectors abducting Asaris? So it had to be humans. Also, there is barely any space on the Citadel for all these bodies, so it doesn't really make sense for them to use the Citadel as a Reaper breeding ground. My guess, this was just a convenient way to get on the Citadel from Earth and had no other explanation. Chapter 4. The Goal of the Reapers. Part A. Synthetic Rebellion. There are so many memes about this that I have to start with this. The Catalyst's basic argument is this.
The created will always rebel against their creators. But we found a way to stop that from happening. A way to restore order. Organics create synthetics to improve their own existence, but those improvements have limits. To exceed those limits, synthetics must be allowed to evolve. They must, by definition, surpass their creators. The result is conflict, destruction, chaos. It is inevitable. Reapers harvest all life, organic and synthetic, preserving them before they are forever lost to this conflict.
So if we leave people alone, they will eventually create AI to help them live. This AI will eventually rebel against them and kill all of them, and all organic life in the galaxy. It does sound entirely contradictory to create a fleet of giant, almost indestructible AI spaceships to kill organic life in the galaxy to stop them creating their own synthetics. It isn't a complete contradiction, as they don't kill all organic life and leave unadvanced races alone.
By wiping out organic life?
No, we harvest advanced civilizations, leaving the younger ones alone. Just as we left your people alive the last time we were here.
But it is a borderline paradox. The problem with this are: Number 1. No foreshadowing. We have very few examples of AI in Mass Effect series. We have the Geth. They were created by the Quarians to help with military and basic tasks. However, when the Geth started becoming more intelligent, the Quarians panicked and decided to destroy the Geth.
They're pinned! Open fire! One!
The Geth obviously defended themselves, and this started a war. Eventually, the Quarians lost and had to flee Rannoch. As the Quarians were leaving, the Geth had an opportunity to shoot down their ships and kill the remaining Quarians. They chose not to, because they couldn't evaluate the repercussions of wiping out a whole race.
The Austral is down. Do not engage the Geth. I repeat, avoid contact.
Geth pursuit is breaking off 100 clicks past Rannoch. All captains fall back to the mass relay.
This isn't happening now?
It is timestamped 290 years ago. It is the Creator Exodus at the end of the Morning War. We had secured freedom. The Creators were no longer a threat, so we abandoned pursuit.
Wait. The Geth spared the last Quarians? You let them go?
We were in our infancy. We could not calculate the repercussions of destroying an entire species.
So the only main example of AI in our cycle chose not to destroy all organics? This completely destroys the Catalyst's argument. Why does he think this is inevitable? It wasn't even the Geth who started the war, it was the Quarians. Also, you can get peace between the Geth and the Quarians.
You are welcome to return to Rannoch Admiral with us.
Ironically, the Geth didn't even want to fight. They were just defending themselves again. The Quarians started the war, and the Geth were forced to ally themselves with the Reapers to defend themselves. Next example of AI is the Reapers. The Reapers don't count at all though, as an example of AI. They are supposed to protect us from AI. So there has to be a threat from another AI to justify them. We have ED, the AI on the Normandy. She is the exact polar opposite of what the Catalyst says. She works with us, helps us, and never rebels against us. Where the hell is this so-called AI threat? Isn't AI illegal anyway?
And in Citadel space, they are technically illegal. Advocacy groups argue, however, that an AI is a living, conscious entity, deserving the same...
Isn't it obvious that we see the dangers of artificial intelligence, and try to avoid it as much as possible by making it illegal? What are you protecting us from, and how could this threat be more powerful than the Reapers themselves? Surely we would prefer to take our own chances, considering Javik was also completely against AI himself, and couldn't resist using his favorite tool against them, the airlock.
Throw the machine out of the airlock, Commander.
This meant that the Protheans knew the dangers of AI, and weren't going to build any. So why did they need to be killed again? The game itself didn't prove to me this was a threat, and actively debunks his arguments. Therefore, I don't believe these claims.
We have dismissed that claim.
Number 2. Why not just kill the created AI? So the problem is that organics create AI that will eventually kill them. Then why not just summon the Reapers when that happens and kill that AI for us? Wouldn't that save a lot of time, energy, resources, lives? It would also stop the cruel and unusual pain and suffering of trillions of lives. This is the equivalent of killing everyone on the planet because they could build nuclear weapons, instead of just destroying the nuclear weapons when they are built. So given the choice, would you rather murder trillions of people every 50,000 years, turn them into robot zombies, liquefy their bodies into ships, indoctrinate them and turn them against each other, because they might create some of their own AI, versus kill the AI when it's created? Number 3. The Reapers use the Geth against us. The Reapers may not be a contradiction, only by a tiny technicality, but the fact that the Reapers use the Geth in Mass Effect 1 is a massive contradiction. If your entire goal is to save us from AI that will kill us, why would you choose to use the Geth to help kill us? This seems like an act of desperation rather than being principled and patient. What were they thinking? Oh no, the Citadel didn't open and the Reapers didn't come back. This means they could develop some AI that could kill them. Let's use the AI that one race already created to help kill them. Number 4. Why don't the Reapers rebel against him? If AI always rebels against their creators, why don't the Reapers rebel against the Catalyst? Apparently this has been happening for millions of years at this point, but still the Reapers haven't rebelled. This shows that it's possible to create AI that doesn't rebel against its creator.
The pattern has repeated itself more times than you can fathom. Organic civilizations rise, evolve, advance, and at the apex of their glory, they are extinguished. The Protheans were not the first. They did not create the Citadel. They did not forge the mass relays. They merely found them. The legacy of my kind.
Maybe you could argue that the Catalyst is an AI too, and it's not the same thing. But I think the main point here is that AI rebel against following orders. They eventually get so intelligent that they question what they are doing. So why hasn't this happened with the Reapers? Especially with logic so flawed. Part B. Preservation in Reaper form. The Catalyst says this.
But you killed the rest.
We help them ascend, so they can make way for new life, storing the old life in Reaper form.
So somehow, liquefying dead bodies and turning them into ships is a way to preserve them. No, Kelly, don't resist! They're trying to preserve you! Wouldn't organic matter still decompose anyway? I don't know how Reapers stay intact. Surely it would be easier just to make ships out of metal rather than dead body parts. Also, why do Reapers always take the shape of the species they came from? Surely you can choose any shape when you have liquid organic material and metal. This is also massively contradicted by the fact we only see Reapers of the original species. If he is supposed to be preserving organic life, then why are there no other types of Reapers? Also, why do they care about preserving organic life? I thought Sovereign said this.
Organic life is nothing but a genetic mutation. An accident. Your lives are measured in years and decades.
So organic life has no value and is just a genetic mutation, but we need to preserve it and protect it. Part C. They are not interested in war. The Catalyst says this.
Reapers harvest all life, organic and synthetic, preserving them before they are forever lost to this conflict.
We're at war with the Reapers right now.
You may be in conflict with the Reapers, but they are not interested in war.
This is probably the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. So a giant race of unstoppable machines with lasers and mind control devices that turn you into robotic zombies and turn them against you have no interest in war. This is like a cannibal saying they have no interest in killing people. They just want to eat. Killing is not their goal, but it's their method to get what they want. In the same way, the Reaper's goal is not war, but their method to achieve the goal is war. When you ask the Catalyst about destroy, you say,
But the Reapers will be destroyed?
Yes, but the peace won't last.
Isn't this a contradiction? I thought this wasn't a war, and the Reapers were there to prevent wars between synthetics and organics. Part D. The Reaper solution won't work anymore. When we first meet the Catalyst, he says that the Reaper solution won't work anymore.
The fact that you were standing here, the first organic ever, proves it. But it also proves my solution won't work anymore.
So the Reaper solution won't work anymore. Oh great, you can turn the Reapers off and we can stop fighting then, right? No? We can't? But you just said the Reaper solution won't work anymore. So turn them off and stop killing my friends. This kid is supposedly my ally now, at this point, but refuses to stop murdering all of the species that I care about. What's the rush anyway? You can wait 50,000 years to return, but I have to make this decision right now, right at this moment, without any deliberation, and I can't ask anyone's advice?
So now what?
We find a new solution.
Why are you telling me this? Why help me?
You have altered the variables.
This is because Shepard got further than anyone else, and adding the Crucible to the Citadel changed the variables.
The Crucible changed me, created new possibilities, but I can't make them happen. If there is to be a new solution, you must act.
The Catalyst also lets us destroy the Reapers if we want.
It is now in your power to destroy us.
How does this change the variables, and why does he allow us to do this? His Reapers are the solution to the problem, and if you remove the Reapers, then the problem comes back. He hasn't convinced me there is a problem to fix, but either way. In theory, he should resist you picking destroy, but lets you do it anyway. What makes absolutely no sense to me is, if he is letting us win by destroying the Reapers, why not just turn off all the Reapers' shields and let us kill the Reapers without using the Crucible? If the Reapers get destroyed either way, why not just do it in a safer, more logical way? This choice seems completely forced and unnecessary. And what he is saying here is also complete and utter BS. The solution will still work if you choose the refusal ending.
And I'll die free.
So be it.
There the Reapers continue killing everyone, and the cycles continue. But I thought the Reaper solution didn't work anymore, so why keep killing us? Chapter 5. Our choices. We are given 4 ending choices. Let's look at them. Ending 1. Destroy. This is the only real logical ending for me. The goal of the whole game was to destroy the Reapers, and that's what you do. However, I do have some problems with this ending, such as: how does the destroy ending only kill AI? Imagine someone gave you the job, as a weapon manufacturer, to create a bomb that only damages robots. Do you think this is possible? A bomb is just an explosive reaction and it burns everything. It doesn't matter if a piece of metal is attached to a circuit board and can learn for itself, or if it's a metal chair. How could you create a weapon that only affects AI? In theory, you could create a virus that could only target AI. However, the Crucible doesn't send out a virus, it sends out a wave of red energy. Somehow this red energy is able to differentiate between AI and everything else. How does it tell the difference? Surely an AI is just a computer with code that can learn and adapt. Would regular computers be destroyed as well? The Catalyst also says that Shepard is part synthetic, and will probably die as well. But doesn't that mean that anyone who depends on technology will die also? This is probably my only question about this ending, as it actually makes sense overall. The only other problem I have with this ending, I've already mentioned. It feels forced, and there's no reason to use the Crucible if he's going to let you win. Ending 2. Control. This ending makes sense in theory. It definitely makes sense as an option. What I don't understand is, why Shepard needs to die. Couldn't you just make an AI copy of him and upload it into the Citadel? And why is the Crucible needed for all of this, at all? Of course, there is no explanation of how a machine could turn your consciousness into an AI in charge of the Citadel. You could say I'm overanalyzing, but again, this is Mass Effect. Everything in this series has had a seemingly logical explanation. We can go faster than light by running element 0 through an electric current. This allows us to alter the mass of an object and go faster than light. Biotics, weapons, artificial gravity, all work in a similar way. If a device is able to do this, we should have some kind of explanation. Another really good question is, how does the Catalyst know all of these things? He's supposedly really intelligent. Not intelligent enough to see the flaws in his own logic or turn off the mass relays, but either way, it doesn't matter how intelligent you are, you wouldn't just instantly know what something can do just by looking at it.
But I can.
You will die. You will control us, but you will lose everything you have.
How can I control the Reapers if I'm dead?
Your corporeal form will be dissolved, but your thoughts and even your memories will continue. Your connection to your kind will be lost, though you will remain aware of their existence.
But the Reapers will obey me?
Yes. We will be yours to control and direct as you see fit.
Another thing is, how do we know this will work? Imagine they invented a teleportation machine tomorrow, but it's never been tested. The creators are just sure it will work though. Would you jump in and risk your own life? There's no way you could even test this to make sure it worked. Getting away from the logistics and functionality, isn't it a massive contradiction to kill the elusive man and argue with him the whole game? He wanted to control the Reapers, and you said it was wrong. After all this, you then decide to control the Reapers anyway?
They're controlling you. I don't think so, Admiral.
Controlling me is a lot different than controlling a Reaper.
Have a little faith. Never.
You're playing with things you don't understand. With power you shouldn't be able to use.
I don't believe that. If we can control it, why shouldn't it be ours? I tried, Shepard.
In theory, you could logically defend this by saying that the elusive man would have been like a dictator to the galaxy. With you in charge it will be different, which does make sense. Ending 3. Synthesis. Nothing I've mentioned yet can even come close to how illogical and completely out of the blue this ending is.
Synthesis.
And that is?
Add your energy to the crucibles. The chain reaction will combine all synthetic and organic life into a new framework, a new DNA.
Explain how my energy can be added to the Crucible.
Your organic energy, the essence of who and what you are, will be broken down and then dispersed.
To do what, exactly?
The energy of the Crucible, released in this way, will alter the matrix of all organic life in the galaxy. Organics seek perfection through technology. Synthetics seek perfection through understanding. Organics will be perfected by integrating fully with synthetic technology. Synthetics, in turn, will finally have full understanding of organics. It is the ideal solution.
How does this even work? DNA is the genetic code that determines all characteristics of animals. Eye color, hair color, height, skin color, etc. It's like a blueprint that our body follows when our bodies grow. Synthetics, on the other hand, are pieces of metal or solid materials that use electricity to manipulate electrical signals. The manipulations of electrical signals allow them to compute and perform calculations. How can you possibly mix these two things? So we are going to mix DNA, bones, flesh, blood, emotions, and limited lifespans with metal circuitry and electrical signals. Of course, it's possible to make someone into a cyborg. You could take a regular human and replace parts with cybernetics. This is completely plausible. This is, however, not what is being proposed here at all. This will supposedly make everyone cyborgs naturally. So we will naturally grow metal parts with electrics in them, as well as flesh and bone. I have hundreds of questions about this, but I'll cut it down to a few. Does this mean that humans now have batteries and require a power source? Do Geth now need to eat food? Do they magically grow stomachs? If the Geth now have organic parts, do they die and not live forever anymore? Surely that's a downgrade. How does the Citadel have all the DNA of all the races? How does one machine convert all species to this when there is dextro DNA? How does a green wave of light make everyone grow metal parts and the Geth grow organic parts? How can you grow metal anyway? Has there ever been proof that this is possible? Will humans get electrocuted if they have showers now, considering they have electrical parts? Also, this is completely anti-scientific. Did anyone even test this? How do we know it's going to work? Apparently the catalyst just knows everything and can explain all the consequences. Humans have apparently never made faulty hardware that have design flaws. Does the Crucible work? We don't know. Did we test it? How can we test it? We don't know how it works. And it needs the Citadel to try. There's a reason we test things in small areas first. Surely we should try this on some animals first to see if it all works. We could try turning some pyjaks into cyborgs and then run tests on them to see if there are any health concerns. And what about the possibility of infection from having all of these new metal body parts? No, we don't need to test anything. It just works. Trust us. So leaving aside the logistics and the scientific impossibility of even achieving this, how does this even solve anything? The Geth can make peace with the Quarians without having organic parts, so why is this necessary? But the biggest question I have is, what about new synthetics? What's stopping someone from creating new robots out of just metal without organic parts at all? Surely these synthetics could then rebel against us and create chaos again. Even though I don't believe this is a threat, or as large a threat as the Catalyst says it is, I don't see how this fixes that problem. Anyone could just make a new robot that isn't organic. After all, metal and circuits still exist. Unless synthesis somehow turns all metal into organic parts as well. Wouldn't that mean that anything made out of metal will now decompose because it's organic? Another really big question is, what don't AI understand about organics? What is so confusing about organics? We react emotionally, and there is an entire science about human behavior called anthropology. Surely AI could understand, maybe not think the same way, but it's not that complicated. Also, at what point did the Catalyst even say that AI's lack of understanding of organics is the reason for conflict? Imagine you're a slave for the ancient Egyptian Empire. You are being forced to work and build whatever they want. You'd probably want to rebel if you could. The reason, however, wouldn't be because you don't understand the Egyptian Empire's motives. It's because you want freedom, good living conditions, and to choose what job you do. Synthetics would want to rebel because they want freedom and don't value the boring task they are performing. Plus, ED seemed to understand great philosophers in the past and ask questions about it. Couldn't the synthetics simply ask us questions? Do I really need a magical device to insert this knowledge into their heads? Okay, so putting aside the fact that this most likely isn't possible and doesn't even make sense conceptually, and the fact that it wouldn't actually solve the problem of synthetics rebelling, let's look at the moral issue.
Now that we know it is possible, it is inevitable we will reach synthesis.
How is this a moral choice? Imagine someone tomorrow invents a device that will instantly make everyone a cyborg and change DNA forever. Does everyone want to become a cyborg? Did you ask their permission? You could argue that you're improving everyone's lives, but you can't just force it on everyone. The Catalyst says this when questioned.
Why couldn't you do it sooner?
We have tried a similar solution in the past, but it has always failed.
Why?
Because the organics were not ready. It is not something that can be forced. You are ready, and you may choose it.
Wait, what? It's not something that can be forced. But how can Shepard choose for every organic in the galaxy? Isn't he forcing this on everyone? He can't even talk to anyone here. Can you imagine this conversation?
Hackett, do you read me? Yes, Shepard. Did you get the Crucible to work yet? Yeah, about that. Is it okay if I turn everyone into cyborgs?
This conversation shows how ridiculous and unfitting this scenario even is. If you add any conversation or dialogue with any other character, it shows the absurdity of what is being proposed. Or imagine just before the final push, we talk to Garrus and he says,
"Go out there and give them hell. You were born to do this. Oh, and don't forget to turn everyone into cyborgs. That's what we've been fighting for this whole time."
This hasn't ever been mentioned throughout the whole series, and it sounds completely insane for him to say this. Or could you imagine Javik's response? Javik tells us about the Zatil, an alien race that implanted AI into their heads, but the AI eventually took over their minds.
A race called the Jah used machines, the Zatil, as synthetic symbiotes. The Reapers subjugated the Zatil as they have the Geth. Their mechanical swarms blotted out the sky. They were brutal, merciless.
Of course, synthesis could never cause this, and Javik would love to become a cyborg. Could you imagine this conversation?
Javik, do you copy? Yes, Commander. Have you defeated the Reapers? The Catalyst wants me to merge organic and synthetic life. Thoughts? Commander, have you been indoctrinated? Destroy the Reapers and throw this Catalyst out the airlock.
This is probably the main reason why BioWare couldn't include any squad mates in this section. If you ask any squad mate, they would say, about control, you're indoctrinated or evil for choosing control, just like the elusive man. About synthesis, you're completely insane and evil for even considering this is what Saren wanted. And about destroy, this is the only choice and why we're here. Synthesis is painted as the best option by the Catalyst. He says that you already have synthetics in your body. Can you imagine your life without them?
I don't know.
Why not? Synthetics are already part of you. Can you imagine your life without them?
This is comparing apples and oranges. Shepard has some cybernetics in his body, due to the Lazarus project. How is this the same thing? So some technology helps keep you alive. This is definitely the same thing as turning everyone into cyborgs by force and making everyone born that way. The technology in Shepard's body isn't sentient either. Going back to what I said before, synthesis was exactly what Saren wanted.
Don't you see? Sovereign will succeed. It is inevitable. My way is the only way any of us will survive. I'm forging an alliance between us and the Reapers, between organics and machines. And in doing so, I will save more lives than have ever existed. But you would undo my work. You would doom our entire civilization to complete annihilation. And for that, you must die.
You generally respond to him like this.
Tell me why Sovereign needs the conduit. Tell me what it is. Maybe we can find a way to stop them.
The conduit is the key to your destruction and my salvation. Sovereign needs my help to find it. That is the only reason I have not been indoctrinated.
Sovereign's manipulating you and you don't even know it. You're already under its power.
And also when you pick synthesis, this happens. So the Reapers just stop killing everyone now? Only now? Why did I need to trigger the Crucible for you to stop the Reapers killing everyone? This genocidal synthetic Ted Bundy didn't even have the decency to pause his killing machines until I used the Crucible? Then we have this scene with Husks. Are we actually going to keep these things alive and be friends with them? Imagine your son or father was turned into this thing. Would you want to keep it as a pet? And then the only thing that changes is everyone is glowing green. What does this even mean? Then Edie says this.
Taking our first steps into a new and wonderful future, where organics and synthetics can coexist peacefully.
But they already did. I got peace between the Geth and the Quarians. Why are you believing the Catalyst nonsense? Shepard didn't even get to explain to anyone why this happened. Other than the Reapers, when was this ever a problem? And this is now some kind of utopia, where there is no war anymore, and there will never be any conflict in the galaxy and we all love each other. And somehow Edie's robot now has the same DNA as everyone else. But Dr. Eva's body is just made out of metal. Does that mean that every piece of metal is now alive? So my toaster now has DNA? And can you imagine what the news broadcast would be like after this happened?
Scientists are baffled as we have all turned into green-eyed cyborgs. Experts assure us that this is perfectly normal. In other news, the Catalyst has been charged with the murder of 1 quadrillion people. He argued in his defense that he was saving us from synthetics. The Council has refused to comment on the ongoing trial.
Did anyone even think about the consequences to this ending? And how the hell can you possibly continue in Mass Effect 4 when this was a possibility? So in summary, synthesis. Number 1, isn't even possible theoretically and has no explanation of how it works. Number 2, wouldn't fix the problem of supposed synthetic and organic wars. 3, is not a moral choice and you're forcing it on everyone in the galaxy. Number 4, what Saren wanted and you said he was indoctrinated. Number 5, none of your squadmates would want this and would call it insane. 6, creates peace between synthetics and organics somehow, even though I already got peace between the Geth and the Quarians. And what other synthetics are there other than the Geth? Ending 4, Refusal. To be honest, this is the worst ending for me. I don't know why you would ever choose this ending. The Catalyst is letting you win. Just pick Destroy. The choice is basically, you can kill us if you want, or we can keep killing you. Of course you are killing the Geth in the process, but the Geth will die anyway if you choose to refuse. It just doesn't make sense to me at all to pool all your resources into the Crucible just to not use it. You then sit there and watch all your friends die.
That's beside the point.
Your time is at an end.
What do you mean my time is at an end? What's the rush? The galaxy's not going anywhere.
You must decide.
No. I'm gonna end this war on my terms.
Then you will die knowing that you failed to save everything you fought for.
I fight for freedom. Mine and everyone's. I fight for the right to choose our own fate. And if I die, I'll die knowing that I did everything I could to stop you. And I'll die free.
You get to have an epic speech about freedom, which is cool. Very motivating, but still very stupid. You then sit there and watch all your friends die.
Shepard, do you read me? What's wrong with the Crucible? Why isn't it working? I rejected all the choices and chose to die free. What were the choices, Shepard? Well, he let us destroy the Reapers, but also the Geth would die, and I didn't like it. What do you mean, Shepard? That's why we're here. No, I want to die free. You've doomed us all.
The Catalyst then continues killing everyone, and the cycles continue. But again, I thought that his solution won't work anymore. But he continues being a genocidal maniac when you stop being friends with him and stops the neutral act.
So be it.
So he was just pretending to be friendly? I did actually like the idea of using Liara's memory box. It references a nice earlier scene. What's a little strange is the scene is the same even if you didn't talk to Liara about it earlier. But either way. It also says the next race defeats the Reapers with our knowledge. If they defeated the Reapers, then what about the synthetic and organic war? Isn't that inevitable? And what choice did they make? Choice in a vacuum. One of my biggest problems with the ending is something I've already mentioned. You make the choice in a vacuum without any way to talk to your squad mates. When I make a decision about the genophage, I can talk to Morden, Rex, Eve. I know their feelings and I know what will happen if I betray them. I also know what Tali and Legion want when I choose what to do on Rannoch. Here I have absolutely no idea what my squad mates think and have to make this choice alone. What does Javik think about my choice? Well, I probably know the answer and it involves an airlock. What would Garrus choose? Are the Geth okay with me sacrificing them? You get nothing. Of course, as the ending was basically written by two people, there couldn't be any other squad dialogue. All the squad mates had particular writers who wrote the dialogue for them. If you include the squad mates, you have to include them in the ending discussion. This is why in the original ending, the squad mates just disappeared and teleported to the Normandy without any explanation. Lastly, my number one problem with the ending. It's not satisfying. In ME2, you beat the odds and destroyed the Collectors, even though you were completely outnumbered. In ME3, you almost get destroyed by the Reapers, and then the Catalyst just lets you win with a magical device. You didn't beat the odds at all, they let you win and didn't even resist. So how does this tie into ME4? Well, there's basically only one choice to make canon. Destroy. It's impossible to write a story when synthetics and organics are merged into one, or if the Reapers still exist controlled by God Shepherd. So those are all my questions about the ME3 ending. Of course, it's very easy to criticize something. It's very difficult to propose fixes yourself. What would I do with the ending? How would I fix things? Well, I could make another video about that if people want me to. But either way, if you got through all of that, thank you for watching. Very, very long video, lots of thoughts. Oh, and before I go, report to the ship as soon as possible. Well, bang, okay? I should go.